Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for He and Tai. You have this Endings and Beginnings card and this Desire and Attraction card. You also start as yourself, which is great right here. There could definitely be some sort of, ending or beginning that you're dealing with right now. I would say like an ending to a beginning is what's coming in for you. So maybe you've already had, I know you've had some endings and now you're having like a new beginning, which is great. And this looks very positive so far, so I like what I see. But you start as yourself with the Temperance card, and whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you kind of like in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. Temperance is kind of like a card of trying to create a turnaround as well. I always say Temperance is the card of alchemy, trying to turn one thing into another. But usually with a Temperance card, we're trying to turn like a negative into a positive. You can turn a positive into a negative with Temperance, but of course I don't suggest it, so I would be focusing on the positive. I would also say that you're ready for something. Obviously this is kind of a love reading. There is a lot of love here, but it could be about anything. And these two cups are being mixed together on this card. You also have the High Priestess and the Hierophant and the Two of Cups in your past. So, I personally consider the High Priestess and the Hierophant to be better divine counterparts than the Emperor and the Empress because it's like more of a, deeper, more spiritual connection between the two. And so, if you are looking for love, there definitely could be a divine counterpart coming in for you here. If you don't want love, and even if you do, I think that this could also be just looking around here. Like, I feel like this could be something that you're working on that you just really resonate with. So like if you're trying to find a job or a new position or a career, that's what you could be mixing together is yourself with your career or, whatever it is that you're doing. Like you're finding a better match, and that's definitely popping into my head. With the Empress is your crossing energy. And the crossing energy in a Celtic cross can be what hurts you or helps you. The Empress is all about manifesting abundance and things like that, but in the crossing position, the Empress really represents needing to tell yourself that you are good enough or that you are enough to have something that you desire. And I really feel the Empress, she's a card of self-care, but when she's in a crossing position, it kind of says that you need to care about yourself more, which I think everybody should always do that, of course. But, I think that, working on how you see yourself would be a good thing to work on during this period and into the time ahead. I would actually say probably over the next stretch of time, as energies are still settling and integrating. And I think for you, it could be all about like working on your self-image, how you see yourself, needing to convince yourself that you are good enough. And I am not ashamed to say I am a big fan of brainwashing myself into things, so I do it all the time. Every single day, I don't know where it is, it's actually over here, but I have a yellow notebook. Every single day, I write my affirmations every single morning, and those affirmations are usually about things that I want to see myself as, right? And I brainwash myself every single day. Totally changed my life. And yes, it takes time. Like it didn't work overnight. And I don't really necessarily feel there's anything magical about affirmations. Like I'm not so sure that it's like a law of attraction thing. I think it's more you are convincing your brain to believe these things, and because you believe it, it happens, right? And so I'm a big fan of doing it, and I think you should be too with the Empress as your crossing energy. In the area of what's on your mind, or the area of your thoughts, you have the High Priestess. Very intuitive, very good card too. It's actually very well set up here. Having the High Priestess in your thoughts and the Hierophant in your foundation is like amazing because the High Priestess is definitely more intuitive thoughts and kind of trusting your intuition. She's also the card of digging into mysteries. So I'm a big fan of this right now as well. Like things that you don't know or things that you want to learn about or anything new that you want to explore, I definitely recommend it at this time. With the High Priestess, she is the card of unlimited potential. So I think it would be an amazing time to like truly tap into your potential with this card as well. You have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a card of blessings or receiving blessings. The Hierophant is also coming up in your foundation position. The reason I think the Hierophant is a really good card for your foundation is because he communicates with heaven and earth. So he's able to take his dreams or his messages from heaven and ground them in reality. He is Taurus grounding energy. So I feel for a lot of you that this is really saying your energy is very grounded right now, even while you're opening up to something new and meaningful, actually minus your belief in yourself maybe. But, other than that, I think you are kind of manifesting or you are grounding your vision in reality with this card. And, with everything here, it's like you have the vision because of the High Priestess, and you also have the intuition, and you also have the action of the Hierophant of being able to, translate the messages you're receiving or what you're imagining down to earth. So just a really nice energy. And again, of course, this could also be very good for a connection if you want love. Next, in your past position, you have the Stag Spirit. It says you were meant for great things, trust in all that you have to offer. Yes, kind of another message that says you need to believe in yourself, trust in all that you have to offer, you are enough basically. You have this orbiting space card. It says something or someone is orbiting you, wanting to make its presence known. So there could be love, obviously, with the Two of Cups here. This is showing up in your past position, but the thing is that the Two of Cups can be very spiritual. The Two of Cups is you and your higher self, so your higher self could maybe in the past it has been guiding you towards a person. And I feel like you need to trust that inner voice that's telling you to move towards a person. It could also be like if you have only been talking to a person, because Two of Cups can be communication. This reading could say that you're bringing it into reality. You even have the Four of Wands showing up in the very near future. The Four of Wands does not have to be marriage. The Four of Wands can just say that you're making something legitimate, you are committing to something here on earth, right? So like I said, could it be marriage? Sure. But, it doesn't have to be. It could just say that you're committing to this new connection here on earth. The other thing I will say is that if you have left a connection, the Two of Cups can represent a stepping stone soulmate. Usually we feel a very strong connection to stepping stone soulmates because they remind us of us in the past. So, for example, how do you know if a past person is a stepping stone soulmate? Maybe years ago you went through money issues and you meet this person, and they're also going through a very similar issue to what you went through. I believe stepping stone soulmates come into our lives to teach us something, or to remind us of what we have already learned. Usually stepping stone soulmates do not last forever. Usually they just say like, hey, remember this thing you learned in the past, don't repeat it again, right? And so some of you could have experienced that type of connection in the past. But usually when we meet a stepping stone soulmate, the next person is like our soulmate. I don't really believe in soulmates, but there you go. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have this card. It says a fiery climax approaches. You have two Aries cards, full moon in Aries and new moon in Aries, and this card says it's time to take action. So definitely time for you to take action. Both cards basically represent taking action or moving towards something that you want and desire. Also in the very near future, you have the Four of Wands. Obviously, if you know that you're getting married in the near future, then there you go. This could be marriage or happiness or celebration. These two people are celebrating on the other side of these Four Wands. And so really, the Four of Wands is a card of celebration, and it can also represent completing one stage of your life or a project or a goal and kind of going to the next one. I always say the Four of Wands is a finish line card. There's kind of like this finish line thing right here, and these people have already been married, they are already celebrating. So really, the truth of the Four of Wands is that really it's actually a card of freedom. But number two, it's like about setting yourself free from something that you're completing and going to the next stage. And so a lot of you could also be doing that. I'm getting a lot on this Four of Wands. I also feel that you're, like I said earlier, I was getting something about like making something legitimate. And I'm a big fan of making things legitimate in life. That's how we get success, right? And so there are a lot of ways we can do this. Like, a lot of people, they want to start a business, but they kind of just dabble. And so to make something like a business legitimate, like maybe you have to build a website, or maybe you have to build a following on social media, or maybe you have to get like an LLC. There are a lot of things you can do to make things more legitimate, and that's what's popping into my head with the Four of Wands, is that it doesn't matter what you want. I was just using business as an example, but if there's something you want in life, it's like what can you do to really ground that thing in reality? Like what steps do you need to take? And that's what I would be thinking about, because Four of Wands is about commitment. When we take those steps to make something legitimate, we are committing to it on a deeper level, and that's what I'd be doing. Not just love, I'm talking about all areas of your life. In your outcome row, you have this Nourish card. Yes, and this Manifest card, yes. The Nourish card is definitely the Empress. The Empress is all about nourishment, self-care. I think the better you take care of yourself and nurture yourself, and brainwash yourself into positivity, the more better things you will manifest. I also think the Manifest card is talking about, like kind of taking care and nourishing your manifestation. And, I used to be the type of person where, like, I would accomplish something and I would rush right past it. That is not nourishing your manifestations. I believe we should be taking extra time to really, kind of like care about the things that we manifest. So like when we do manifest something or accomplish something, I think like nowadays I always take like a little bit extra time to be a little bit extra grateful for what I manifested. And I don't know, I think it works. Can I prove it? No. But I think it works, so I'm a big fan of like really nourishing and being grateful and enjoying the manifestation as well. So whatever it is you're manifesting, I would make sure that you're taking care of it over the next few months. You have the Nine of Pentacles. A really good card for Sag. I mean, Nine of Pentacles is pre-Empress energy. She is a card of independence and gratitude and luxury. So exactly what I just said, expressing gratitude for the things that you have manifested is going to be important. I think that the Nine of Pentacles is an amazing card for your environment, which is usually like the number one thing that I think people should focus on with this card. It's a small thing. There's this tiny little snail down here, but snails wear their homes on their backs. And so the Nine of Pentacles is about creating that environment of success around you and creating an environment that's worth living in. And that's what I would be doing with the Nine of Pentacles, is creating an environment of success or creating a positive environment around you, surrounding yourself with good people, surrounding yourself with good goals, literally cleaning up your environment. I don't know about anyone else, but if my house is a mess, like I cannot do anything. Totally distracts me. So, kind of like making sure that you have a positive environment is important with the Nine of Pentacles, and that's what I would do there. Next, in your closest relationships, you have the Six of Cups. Really good card for the area of your closest relationships. This is all relationships in your life, not just love. The Six of Cups definitely could represent a soulmate coming in for you. So if you want love, definitely could be a soulmate that's coming in. I don't really feel like this is a person from the past. I don't even read the Six of Cups as a person from the past. Again, it can represent innocence and nostalgia. Nostalgia is just thinking about the past. It does not mean that someone is coming back from the past. So I feel that this could represent someone like a new person. Although what I will say is that you have the Judgment card here, which could also represent a person coming back from the past for some of you. I feel like this is a person that you've talked to. Like, I don't think it's ever really gotten anywhere. So, again, it could be a person from the past, but, I don't think you've ever dated this person, so that is possible for some of you. It's also just a good card for people. Like I said, it can really represent like a playful, childlike energy. So it can say that all your connections are feeling just like a little bit more, playful, lighthearted, carefree, just in a really good way. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Judgment card again. You have probably the best reading, and we're going to clarify. I might ruin it in a minute, but you have the best reading for sure, this month. So I'll say that. But, the Judgment card is about, and especially in this area of your reading, it would really represent feeling called to your purpose and really understanding what your purpose is at this time and kind of like moving in the right direction. So I feel a lot of you could be moving in the right direction at this time, or you're kind of just going the right direction. You're feeling called to your purpose, which is great, and you know what to do, which is great. You also have the Ten of Wands as your outcome. The Ten of Wands can represent feeling burdened. The Ten of Wands, I feel, as always, is kind of like a good card, bad card type of situation. He planted those wands. Those wands are his harvest, and he is about to reach his home in the background here. So he is about to have a harvest, and the Ten of Wands represents the fact that you are about to have some sort of harvest in your life. And so I feel for a lot of you, it's like, yeah, maybe you've been carrying a lot of burdens, but you are about to reach your goal, which is good. So let's see what comes up here, Sag. With the Temperance card and the Empress, you have the Six of Swords. Yes, moving on, calmer shores. Again, Six of Swords can be an act of self-care. This woman and the child in the boat, they are completely moving on from the past, and they're completely releasing the past with nothing on their backs but their clothes on their backs, right? They are completely going to the other side and completely releasing the past for the hopes of a brighter future. But they could be walking away from something or moving away from something that did want to provide them with fulfillment, but maybe it wasn't really nurturing them, or, maybe it was less than they deserved. So I think with the Empress, this is about making those decisions to move away from things that maybe did support you in some way, or, maybe did provide you with something in your life, but ultimately, those things weren't right. With the High Priestess, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is like material success on the horizon. So 8 of Pentacles can say you are basically getting paid for work that you've done in the past. 8 of Pentacles is also just great for diligent work. And, I'm not really feeling much here other than you are getting results for the work that you do, which there's nothing wrong with that. With the hand, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, definitely could be a big opportunity coming in for you. This could be more of like an intuitive, like dreamlike opportunity that you're getting. I always say I love the Ace of Pentacles, but my problem with the Ace of Pentacles is it's just potential, and potential means nothing. So, if you get an opportunity, you really are going to want to nurture and nourish this opportunity into existence. You have the Nourish card, you have the Empress, you have the 9 of Pentacles. These are all great cards for really caring about something that you're trying to create or bring into the world, and that's exactly what I would do with the Ace of Pentacles. I would make sure that you are really like nurturing and caring for something like an opportunity that you could be either manifesting, or I don't think you're really like manifesting. Like, is there some manifestation here? Yes, but I think this is more of like an idea that you have or something that's coming from your higher self. With the 2 of Cups, you have the Devil. Yes, like I said, could have been a toxic stepping stone soulmate. Sometimes stepping stone soulmates can be toxic. Usually they are. And so, I guess the good news here is that you are moving past it. It's coming up in your past position. But I think you need to realize that the past is in the past. It looks to me like you have a bright future in love if that's what you want. With the 4 of Wands, you have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, Ace of Swords is a victory. Like I said, the 4 of Wands really can represent that completion, kind of completing one stage or one part of like a goal or something that you're trying to accomplish, and the Ace of Swords is a victory. So there definitely could be like a victory or success coming in for you or a big win. With the Ace of Swords, it's also really important that we focus with the Ace of Swords, and, focus is a word that has come up quite a bit in the readings over the past few weeks. So I think that we are in a time where we really need to, focus on what we want to accomplish. It would also be like I was saying about making things more legitimate in your life. The Ace of Swords is laser-like focus. It's like, are you focusing on the right things that are grounding something in reality? It's almost like the roots of a tree are what I'm seeing. It's like the roots are grabbing into the earth. You're bringing something down hard and not just like a little bit. So I think, all this imagery between like really all of this is kind of saying you are doing the things that are going to root something in your reality. And, that would be my focus if I were you. With the 9 of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Wands. I kind of feel like the Knight of Wands is Sagittarius's natural state. Being spontaneous, being adventurous, being open to opportunity. I think I said in your last reading that I felt in your last reading, it's almost like you are becoming more yourself. Or, it's just like, I don't know, it's almost like you are becoming more yourself. That's all I can say. So I think you are just becoming more of yourself here, Sag, and that is obviously a good thing. With the 6 of Cups, you have the 2 of Wands. Yeah, if you want love, I would definitely push yourself outside of comfort zones. 2 of Wands is about taking the lead. Now, that doesn't mean you have to like take the lead in a relationship. But what it does mean is you have to get out into the world to be able to discover someone that's worth it. And, I would definitely encourage that. With the Judgment card, you have the Queen of Wands. Really good reading. I mean, all this energy works really, really well with Sagittarius, so love it. The Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive. She also goes on a journey, but she doesn't know if she's going to be successful or not. She is just following the sun. She has a sunflower right here, and the sunflower points towards the sun. So she is my card of learning as you go. And I definitely feel everyone is having to learn how to learn as you go at this time. With the 10 of Wands, you have the 10 of Pentacles. Amazing. Really couldn't ask for a better outcome. 10 of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. 10 of Pentacles forms the tree of life, and so a lot of you could be accomplishing great things, or you could be, and sure, we'll take this card as well. You could be kind of reaching new heights here, Sag. It looks really good. You have this Unicorn card. It says, use your intuition to make beneficial changes. High Priestess, we said it. 8 of Pentacles, he is making changes, he is working on himself. Really, I look at the 8 of Pentacles as a card of personal development. He might be working on things for himself, right? And so I think that for a lot of you, doing that is what's going to create these beneficial changes. You have this monthly card. I always clarify these monthly cards. You have this Valley card. It says, deep personal strength and peace that assures success. So this could be what you're developing over the next period of time. I would say after a while, pretty much everything will move forward. We've been getting hammered by retrogrades. We have Mars retrograde. Mars retrograde won't fully clear for a while, and even after it officially ends, we're still in the shadow phase for some time. Venus will also go retrograde during that period. Then after the Venus retrograde ends, we immediately get hit by a Mercury retrograde. So after several cycles pass, things are kind of at a good place. And again, I don't think it's bad, but I think a lot of us are going to feel maybe just different during that later period. You have this chair card maybe around that same time as well. You have this chair empty. It says, someone is leaving your life. Could be a toxic past person that is leaving your life. And so I definitely feel that you have this yoke card. It says, feeling tied down or frustrated. I feel like you have felt like this for a very long time.